Sis, I'm going to be very honest with you. Some of the people you love the most can't come with you into your next season. And no, this is not about being better than anyone. It's about loving yourself enough to stop shrinking in spaces you've outgrown. This is what today's episode is all about. So grab your favorite drink, a pen, and your journal, and let's dive in. Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to Awaken Her, the podcast where we rebuild, renew, and rise into our divine assignment. I'm your girl, Aji Michael, and I am so glad you are here. This is our virtual meeting space. So, how are you doing, really? For me, for the past how many weeks? 2 weeks now, I've not recorded any episode, and it's intentional. I shared in my Soul Sunday newsletter. If you are plugged into that, and if you're not, what are you waiting for? I've been in an exam mode, writing assessment and examination for my master's program. It's quite hectic, but I'm done. So I have to move things around, juggle things. And I want to make sure that I'm actually in a very good place energetically, to record any of these podcasts, right? So yeah, this morning I have my favorite coffee. I've joined my church program, our prayer meeting. I'm recording this Saturday morning. And now I have my coffee here with me and I'm recording. And guess what? My friend Tooks met at a friend's 50th birthday party. She gave me some kind of like a secret on how to record your podcast using your phone. So today I'm trying, secret. So I'll see how that turns out, So if it works out well and the quality is fine, then it will just be easier for me. I don't need to start setting up any microphone, yada, 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 that stuff. Right? So that's me being in a nutshell, and I'm so happy to be here recording this episode with you. And today's episode in particular, like I said in the intro, it's honest conversation, I have been in a reflective space lately, thinking about growth, boundaries, and what it really means to walk in alignment. And you know what's been coming up? Relationships. Now, not just romantic ones, just so you know. Also friendships, business partners, even family. So today's episode is really a sacred one and it's very necessary. We're going to be asking a holy question. You're going to be saying a prayer, whether you're walking, whether you're in the bathroom. And I want to encourage you to ask God, who is coming with me? And who do I need to release to rise? It's a very important question because I remember there's a story in the Bible where, God wanted to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And it got to a point where Abraham and Lot had to depart. And the Bible says, and when Lot departed, we read the story of Ruth, Naomi, and Orpah. Orpah departed, but Ruth went on the journey with Naomi. So Orpah departed. Did she do anything wrong by not going with Naomi? No. By divine arrangement, Orpah was not meant to just go on that journey. I believe so. That the rest of the journey was just for Ruth and Naomi. And because of that journey and that relationship, she became the grandmother of Jesus Christ. So what I'm saying is, I want you to understand, and this is the insight I got from my reflection, that separation is important for growth. There was a time in my life where I was trying to take everyone with me. In fact, when I reflected on my purpose for starting Savvy Women's Circle. Some of you may know or may not know that I used to have a women's, platform that I call Savvy Women's Circle. We also have our Facebook group, pages, and all of that. Now, I started learning things. I started growing. I started thinking about doing things differently. And I thought to myself, oh, I don't want to do this alone. So for a long time, I was pulling many people along with me, not allowing them to be attracted to what I was doing, not allowing people to to connect with my message. It felt like is either you are in or you're not my friend. Seriously. And I believed that loyalty meant holding space, even when that space was hurting me. I had friends who only saw the old Aji. And one of the things I realized is that even while I had a Savvy Women Circle, doing all those things, some of the people that I was trying to pull along with me, some of them, they only saw the old Aji. I spent most of my time explaining myself. Of course, I was married to a partner who couldn't handle the version of me that was finally healing. I found myself in business relationships that became heavy, one-sided, and draining. And some people know about that story, right? And it felt like I was using a kind of a string. I saw all of the red flags, at one point, but I was just lying to myself that I needed to hold that space. But I stayed, hoping they will see me eventually. Until one day, the Lord told me, this is not rejection. This is redirection. And I think I've shared an episode on when rejection is a redirection. Sis, that word freed me. When I say freedom, that was true freedom for me. The truth is, it hurts to outgrow people. Hands up. Yes. But what hurts more is trying to carry the weight of unaligned relationships while becoming the woman God called you to be. So I want you to know, sis, you're not abandoning anyone. What you're doing is you are answering God's call. And yes, some people are in your life for a reason, some for a season, and only a few for your divine elevation. In order for you to really get this concept I'm talking about, it's important for you to be self-aware. So I want to share some of my reflections with you. I was over-functioning to keep some connections alive. Yes. I tolerated energy that didn't match my vision. Absolutely. And I was begging people to clap for a version of me that they no longer understood. And so that was when I asked myself, if I continue to hold on to this person, what version of me has to shrink in the process? Yes, that's deep. That's deep. I want to share with you 3 soul check questions, and I call them activation exercise. Take a moment to just pause and reflect on these questions, and you may actually even write them in your journal. Who in your life sees and supports the woman you are becoming, not just who you have been? They understand your vision. They may not have the full picture, but they know that you are called for something greater. Whether you have a job, you don't have a job, whether you have money in your pocket, they know that there is something about you, and they're willing to support you and walk with you while you unravel the plans, and all of those things. Can you remember the story of Joseph? He was sharing his visions, his dream with his brothers, and they're just wondering, are you seriously? That's how we are. Sometimes the vision we have, we share them with some friends and they just don't get it. Sometimes we share it with them and it just creates some unnecessarily envy or enmity. Even Joseph, he didn't understand how that will happen, but he so much just believed in that vision. He didn't even look like it. Because some of us, we may not look like the vision that God has given us. But when we have friends who sees us as the woman we are becoming, it's crucial. It makes a lot of difference how they relate with us, the things they invite us to, the things they share with us. The second soul check questions: which relationships feel sacred and stretching, not suffocating? This second question is really crucial because where God is taking you to, the dream that the Lord has given you, even you yourself, you may not be able to comprehend it. You need friends who will help you stretch. Even when you want to shrink, they will say no. They will constantly hold the mirror to remind you who you are. Not people that you need to constantly explain yourself to them because you just want to. It's like you're selling your vision to them. The third soul checking question: if you fully choose yourself, who will you naturally drift away from? If you choose yourself right now, who will you naturally drift away from? Choosing yourself means doing those things that aligns, that gives you peace, doing those things that brings you joy. This is not about labeling anyone as toxic. I want to clarify, I'm not talking about toxic relationship here, but it's about honoring your own expansion. I want us to say this affirmation together. I am safe to grow. I am allowed to choose me. I release guilt and make room for divine alignment. I honor the love we shared, but honor my future more. My love, I know it's not easy. You love hard. You're loyal. You carry people in prayer and in pain. But this is the season to carry yourself too. Your growth deserves to be witnessed, not dimmed. And remember, Jesus had to leave Nazareth to be seen for who he was. So sis, you are not being dramatic. You are being called. Now, if this message spoke to you, please share it with your circle or the one that you are rebuilding. And don't forget to join our Soul Sunday newsletter at eastlady.org for weekly reflections, upcoming events, and journal prompts to help you keep rising. And if you haven't listened to the Capacity Code episode yet, go catch up, because once you know your capacity, you will never beg to be tolerated again. You know where I am. I love you always. Until next week, my name is Aji.